Do you know how I work?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I just scared the life out of me there. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Are you picking something up
The door
yourself?
opened, it was my partner, and I thought there was some otherworldly stuff going on for a second.
I'm not going to promise it won't. Basically, I'll just give you what I get. Now, I have an energy that's coming in, and this energy is a whirlwind, so you have to bear with me while I try and grab it. Because I believe I've got a toddler.
Yeah.
Right? And this toddler's like, oh, I'm just going to run round your front room. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're going to come here. Right. Come a bit closer, my darling. The toddler I've got is a little boy, and he's been brought through by a female. And I'm saying the female's like a grandmother type person. Okay? Now, I've now got a song in my head, and I don't know if it's something that you can connect to with this little one. But you know that song, You Are My Sunshine, My Only Sunshine?
Oh, yeah.
I feel as though somebody sang that to him. Now, I don't know if it's you, but I feel as though somebody sang that to him. Because he's giving me that. And he's also giving me Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It's like he's coming through and he's like, well, I'm just going to tell you now about the songs I know. And I'm like, I need a bit more than the songs, sweet cheeks. You know what I mean? Right. Are you dad?
Yeah.
I knew it because he looks like you. He's darker hair, but he looks like you. Very similar. And he's got one of them, when he, you know, when a child, you say to a child, smile for the camera or whatever you say to, you know, he puts his head up and he has this cheesy grin, but he's got little cheeks here as well. So he's got like little full cheeks now. So whatever happened is healed. Now, this energy does feel familiar, so I do feel I've had him through before. It could be for your partner. But obviously, did you hear the door? 2 seconds.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Hello, honey. Thank you,
Thank
darling.
you, bye. This one's mine. Right, get off me pizza, child. Get off me pizza. Right, I do feel like, as I say, I've had the energy before, and I do feel it was with your partner. But what you've got to remember is when I do readings, it sounds weird, I'm just the channel. So I remember bits and bats, or I get a familiarity about the energy, but I couldn't tell you what I said because it's not for me, it's for you. I'm just like their channel, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I do feel as though he has been before. Now, he's drawn me to 2 girls.
Yeah.
I've got 2 girls who he's drawn me to, and I feel as though he comes around these girls quite a lot. So I don't know if you've got other children, but I do feel as though there's 2 girls I have to acknowledge. Yeah. Now, he's also drawn me to the tattoo on your neck, because I feel as though there's one for him somewhere.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Yeah, because he's drawn it. I feel as though I want to just touch your tattoo. That's what he's doing. He's touching you. But he's also letting me know that, again, this might sound random, you've actually suspected he has been around you and you've questioned it. And what I mean by that is, sometimes we might get a bit of a, you know, like, it sounds mad, but like a spider's on your head and there isn't one there. And I feel as though he's touching your head and he's letting you know he's about. And that's what he's doing. Right. I need your energy here, and I need the lady who brought you through to come forward. Right. Is your grandma in spirit?
Yeah.
Right. So, do you understand when grandma turns around and says, I'm just going to say it because I feel as though she would, okay? I feel as though I need to say to you, stop dilly-and dallying and just apply for it. Does that make sense in any way?
In regards to
Right.
a job? Or...
Yeah, I'm asking her why, and I feel as though you've spoke recently about possibly changing a job or something, and I understand, right, when we've got a job, we have that, even though we whinge about it, because we do, everybody moans about the jobs, don't they? I always whinge, I always moan, I come home every day and moan to my husband, I'm surprised he's still here. But you also have that, it's like, I suppose you get used to it, you know people, you know, you get used to your job, you get used to where you're going. But I feel with you as though you don't like too much change.
No, definitely not. No.
And I feel like there's something you've spoke about or you've looked at, and the only thing that's going through your mind is, oh no, but what if I applied and I didn't like the people, I didn't like the job, I couldn't get there. And I feel as though this sort of stuff holds you back in general. Does that make sense? And that's what she's saying to you. Basically, get your big boy pants on and do it if you want to do it, because you're only holding yourself back. There's nobody else holding you back.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I noticed as well, when your partner messaged me, I was a bit confused because of the name change. There's no wedding bells though yet, is there?
No, not yet, no.
Right. Because she's ringing a bell. And it's like, come on, what the hell are you playing at now? Right? Now, I also suspect, I don't want to say too much in case she's listening, because she might listen to this, right? So I'm not going to say too much, but I also suspect that that's in the pipeline from your end as well.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say on it. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Right. Okay. And I don't know if this is you, and I don't know if it's somebody around you, but I feel like at the minute somebody's not feeling 100%. It's like they've either got a cold, they get rid of the cold, and then they get a tummy bug, then they get rid of the tummy bug and they go back to a cold. And I just feel as though there's somebody around you, I don't know if it's you or not, but that's not 100%. So I feel as I need to send spiritual healing across your way, because it's like the person who this is affecting is a bit down in themselves anyway. So obviously when they're getting ailments and stuff, they're struggling getting rid of it. I mean, I don't know if you understand how it works, but if you are a bit down and stuff, sometimes we do attract illnesses because our immune system lowers as well. So I need to give you that. Give me that again. I've just got a name. Give me that again. Cole. Little Cole. But I want to say Bear.
Yeah.
I want to say Bear, and the reason I'm saying that is because, as bad as it sounds, my grandson's nickname's Bear. So I've like got an image of my grandson, nickname wise. So I feel like I want to say Cole Bear. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I need to give you that. He's acknowledging that I need to give you that. He's also, I feel like his energy comes around you and his mum quite a bit, but there's also somebody else who's quite special to him, and that's a male. And he is quite special with a male. There's a male who used to visit him, and I know that he goes round this male, and I think the male who visited him is the next generation up from you. So it could be your dad, your partner's dad, something, but he's quite close, and there's a special reason, okay, that he goes around this male. Right. Now, I feel as though you're fundraising, or you're doing something on the lines of fundraising or charity or something to do with this little boy, okay?
Yeah.
And it's all good. I have to give you that. It's all good. But I also need to tell you it is all right to cry. because grandma's like coming in, and I feel as though when I say the typical male, I don't mean it offensively. But what I mean by that is I feel as though your concern has been your partner and how she's coped with it and how she's got through this. And you've sort of like not pushed your feelings aside, because as a dad you can't, but I feel as though in one sense your feelings don't feel as important. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I feel as though I need to give you reassurance. It's okay to grieve him and it's okay to cry. Do you understand why I have to give you the incident with the wheelie bin?
Yeah. That's
Right?
weird.
I don't know why, but I have to give you an incident with the wheelie bin because that's been acknowledged from spirit. Okay? Right. I also know there's a picture of this little boy in your house and it moves. And if you don't know, remember I've said it.
Oh, yeah.
It moves. Because he's letting me know it moves. But he's a little bugger, right? Because it doesn't just move the picture. There's quite a bit of stuff in your house that's been moved about or been hidden or something.
Yeah.
And he's like a little sod, really, and he thinks it's funny. He's a typical toddler. You know, like when you say to a toddler, go to bed, and they go, no. That's what he's like. Yeah. Typical twos, honestly. That's what I've got. I just feel like when I'm connecting with this energy, because I've got a nephew who's just gone 3, and I feel as though I can feel the similar ages and the similar attitude. It's like I've got this attitude and I'm just a toddler and I'm just allowed to do what I want. But he also, I need to tell you that the bear that you gave him to take with him, he's still got.
Yeah.
There's a bear he's got this bear, and I have to say, still got his bear. Right. Okay. I'm also aware that recently I don't know if you or your partner's done this, but there's been something bought in memoriam of him. Something like flowers to put in the house, because I feel as though blue flowers are relevant. I feel as though it's something to do with him, and it's like sometimes you might see something and you might think, I'm going to get that or I'm going to do that, and he's acknowledging it. He's acknowledging that you remember him, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know again if this is you and your partner or you, but I feel as though there's been pebbles thrown in the sea. If you can't understand what I'm saying, I'm going to try and get more, because I've got a vision of you, a female, and there's 2 young girls at each side of you, and I can see it. You know when you see photographs and it's people from the back, as mad as that sounds, because in my mind's eye that's what I'm seeing, and I feel as though there's something being thrown in the sea, and I've got like pebbles and things, and I feel like there's things being thrown in the sea. So I don't know if it was to do with the baby, or I don't know if it was just a thing you did, but I feel as though there's something connecting sea and the pebbles. If you can't take that, that is absolutely fine. Remember, I've said it, because it might come up, but I've just got this vision of you stood there in a line. And honestly, if you do it, get somebody else to go, because it would make an awesome photograph.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would. But that's what I feel as though this child would have loved the beach. He would have loved the sea. He would have loved running about. He would have loved anything that involved running, playing, and using energy. Basically, he would have been, God bless his soul, an active little boy. He would, honestly, he would, because in spirit now he's a cheeky chap. He really is a cheeky chap. Right. What else are you doing? What else are you doing? Do you understand where the relevance of the little toy car comes in?
Yeah.
Because I'm acknowledging a little toy car. And I have to give you the little toy car. Is there a connection to like Postman Pat with the red van?
Not Postman Pat.
I
No.
feel like there's something to do with like a car in it. You've got to understand, right? My kids are probably older than you, darling. So the children's programs that were out when mine were young were probably dinosaurs and drawing on slates compared to what they have when your little one was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm just going to what I can get, and I feel as though there's a vehicle in a program. And
Oh, yeah.
does that
Yeah.
make sense? And it was like
Yeah.
he used to like this particular program, or the music to it, or there was something about it he liked and he related to it. I also feel as though when he was in the hospital for quite a while, because I feel as though there's a lady who looked after him in the hospital. So it's a nurse or something. And this particular nurse had this little boy had a very special effect on this nurse. That's what I'm going to tell you. And even to this day, she talks about him and she remembers him. And that's good, because you've got to remember, this nurse, it's her job. And she's probably seen 100 babies. But for some reason, this little boy really struck a chord with her. And he's acknowledging that she still talks about him and everything. So, bless her. I'm going to do your cards now. And basically what happens is, Spirit will choose 3 cards for you. I read them out in the order that I get them, and I get what I can from them and pass it on to you. And then when I've done this reading, if the cards are flinging, I will apologise, but I have a little energy who's pushing them. When I've done this reading, I'll send you the cards in the order that I've read them. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
I feel like I need to tell you as well that he's coming on the holiday with you.
Oh, yeah.
All right? So look out for his energy. Because honestly, right, I know he's around you and his mum all the time. And the 2 young girls. And I know he is. Because he's letting me know he is. But sometimes we struggle feeling them and sensing them. And we do. I mean, I can't pick up my own relatives. It's weird. I can only pick up other people's. Sometimes that's a good thing. But... Right. Put your energy on my hand. What I'll get is like a weird sensation in my fingers. I'll either get like a warmth or like a bit of a, sounds mad, like a tingly thing in my hand. And then I know what card I go for. It's weird how I do it. Which one do you want, darling? You're hovering? That one. Okay. And 2. Keep going, push it. Thank you. I want to sit there now and go, because he's clever. Bless his soul, bless him. Right, 1, 2, 3. Right, the first card is Angel of, when I pick it up, Soulmates. Now, I do feel as though you and your partner are soulmates. I do believe that. I genuinely do. And I feel as though you have to be soulmates to go through what you two have gone through as a couple and come out the other side. And when I mean come out the other side, I don't for 1 minute, I'm not saying you've moved on, because I think as parents, when we lose our children, we don't ever move on. We just learn how to deal with it and how to walk down a different road. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So I feel as though this card is from him to you to acknowledge that you and mum are destined. And I also get the feeling, and I don't know why, but grandma's now stepping in, and I feel as though there's been somebody around you lately, and I don't know who it is, but there's a saying, and it's, those that stir the shit pot should be made to lick the spoon. Because I feel as though there's somebody around you who's stirring that pot just a little bit, trying to get a bit of reaction, trying to get something. okay? But remember who your soulmate is. Don't listen to people. Remember who your soulmate is, because it's your partner, whatever anybody says, all right? Your second card is Angel of Balance. As I say, darling, I will send you these cards at the end of the reading. At the minute, you're not balanced very well at all, because I've got kids on one side, I've got partner on the other, and then there's a job on one on jumping on one side, and then there's friends jumping on the other side, and then there's money jumping up there, and I feel as though you're tipping.
Yeah, definitely.
The reason this card's being drawn for you is because I feel like you need to put everything that's concerning you, everything that is important to you on one side and deal with that, and the financial side and the everything else side, deal with it one at a time. Your problem is you're taking on too much at once. You're trying to deal with everything at once to take the emphasis off your partner, with a lot of stress and a lot of worry. And she's probably going to agree with what I'm saying here. She's there for you to put the pressure on as well, and to relieve that pressure and to balance it properly. She's been through hell. She's probably still going through hell. But so are you. So are you. Because whatever anybody says, just because he's not here physically, you're his dad, and you'll always be his dad.
Yeah.
So balance, balance, balance. Put everything in perspective and balance it. Talk to your partner, and also talk about your feelings to her as well. Because I feel as though you're trying to protect her. But sometimes when we try and protect people, it can cause a bit of a, does that make sense? Bit of a gap. Your last card is Angel of Past Issues. Now, we've all got a past, we've all got something we've dealt with. As I know with you, you've dealt with this tremendous loss. There's other stuff I know in your past. And I feel as though, again, I'm going back to a childhood, and I feel as though, I'm not saying you had a bad childhood, because I'm not, but what I mean is I feel like you were pushed out of some things. Possibly with family, friends or something. It was always a case of you were the one who got pushed aside sometimes, and things like that. And this is why this card's been brought up. It's like, stop pushing yourself aside and stop pushing everything aside. Put it all put it on the table. Put everything that you've got in your head on that table. Talk about it and deal with it. Because you are a nice person. Just the energy I'm getting, I feel as though you are a genuinely nice person. But sometimes we're too nice for our own good. Yeah. And the only important people you should be worried about is your partner, yourself, and those two girls. Put them in your circle. But Grandma is giving me a yellow cardigan. Now, do you know what a yellow cardigan means? I get a yellow cardigan when there's a baby coming.
A baby coming?
Yes.
Not me. I was going to say, yeah, for reasons of today, can't be Lauren.
Right. There's a baby coming. So remember, I've said it. It might not be your partner. It could be family. But I do feel there's a baby coming because I've got the yellow cardigan. All right. I know, sweetheart. Give me something else before I. Okay. When you used to leave the room, when the little boy was in the hospital and you used to leave the room, did he used to do this? With his hand?
Yeah.
Because he stood there, his energy, and he's going like that. And it's like he's saying bye.
Yeah.
That's really good, that. Well done, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Right, Grandma's stepping in before she loves you and leaves you, she says. There's somebody around you who I feel as though you and your partner have possibly got a gut instinct about, right? But I don't know if you've told her and she's told you. But it will come about. You are going to realise that there's something about somebody around you that is not, let's just say, all that they seem. Okay?
Yeah.
There's another saying, you know, not everything that shines is glitter. Not everything that sparkles is glitter. And I do feel as though somebody might start showing their true colours, but I feel you're going to get the feeling and she's going to get the feeling about the same person. So again, please remember I've said that. And before I go, I would like to say to you and your partner, I know you do charity and I know you do things for this little boy. So you are more than welcome to offer, if you want to do a raffle, a reading, an online reading using me, and try and raise some money that way for your...
That's very nice. Thank you very much.
All right. I'm just offering that, so you're more than welcome to do raffle, bonus ball, whatever you want to do. I'll donate an online FaceTime reading for that little boy, and hopefully, because I've done that, he might think she's a lovely person, is Sarah. So now my energy is going to go back with mum and dad because she's tired and she just cannot cope with a toddler. All right, I'm just going to stop this recording.